Hello everyone and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 5 press conference live stream with me, Holly Shandon, coming off the international break. This one is expected to be a really busy one. We've got 11 press conferences coming up in the next hour and I'm anticipating there might be a couple more, so we may hang on and do a little bit longer stream today. To mop it all up, there's been a little bit of confusion on when the exact press conference times are. We've already heard from Newcastle, Liverpool and Chelsea before we went live. But in the next hour, we're expecting to hear from Bournemouth, Wolves, Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal, Brighton, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Fulham and Everton. And then at 2:30... I think we're going to hear from Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. I think we've got the Spurs press conference to slot in around now as well. Man City's could be at 1:30, it could be at 2. I don't exactly know yet, but you know, we're going to be across everything. I'm going to recap all the press conference news we've had already, look at the key players that we're still waiting for news on as well, and hopefully I'll have time to talk through my team and answer some of your questions as well. So do come and say hello in the chat. I feel like I've still not got used to these press conference streams being a bit busier. It's always when I go live and I can see that there's 100 people in already, which is just crazy. So thank you so much for the support, everyone. I really do appreciate that. If you are in, hit the like button. Let's try and get the stream to 100 likes first of all. Starting off then with my team, and I'm not really planning on doing anything different to what I said on the team selection video on Tuesday. Looking to roll the transfer, a little bit concerned by my goalkeepers, and the fixtures for the defence aren't the best. However, you know, I think having 2 free transfers for next week is going to be more important than making just one move this week. I have incidentally run my team through the AI recommended transfers over on Fantasy Football Hub. You can do this as well if you're a member, and you can get 30% off right now. And you can get a 7-day free trial as well, using the link in the description to this video or in the chat. And the advice is to bank the transfer with the alternative to go from Kabore to Botman. Botman, incidentally, has been passed fit for game week 5, so that's promising. Let's pop over to the chat first of all, see what's going on, because I can see loads of you in already. So it's great to see so many faces in once again. King Lord and Gazman were here early, as is Ben. We've got 11:11 in. Tiago is in. Sakin. Vijay is modding for us today. Thank you for that. Nick is in. Akshat is in as well. Anish as well. Simon modding again. It's very busy already. Neil is in as well. So great to see so many of you in. I will get round to answering questions, but I do want to keep an eye. Obviously, I've got the tweet deck open. I'm not sure what news we've got coming through at the moment. We was expecting at 1 o'clock. Hang on, I've lost my times already. We was expecting at 1 o'clock to hear from Bournemouth, so probably not the most exciting start, but, you know, it's going to be a busy one nonetheless. Updates from Klopp's press conference were particularly important today. Van Dijk is suspended still, but we also got news that Trent Alexander-Arnold is out. He will miss the Wolves game with a hamstring injury. It's only set to rule him out for a couple of weeks, but he is out. If we have a look at all the news we've got this week, I can probably get rid of that one now because we've got firm news on Trent. We saw earlier in the week that Thiago and Darwin Núñez were not pictured in training. And we've since heard updates from Klopp. Konate's back, having trained for 2 days. Thiago is running. Darwin Núñez is one of the players Jurgen Klopp has not seen. Obviously, a player that has done a lot of miles over the break. His withdrawal fatigue related and he should be fine, so that's promising for Darwin Núñez owners. Minutes is always the issue with him, I guess. So that was the update from Jurgen Klopp. We've already had Chelsea's press conference. Lavia has suffered an injury in training. We've also seen Brozier and Badiashile have been ruled out for the weekend. Fernandez is fine. Casado home late, but hopefully he'll be okay. But the big one for Gusto owners is Reece James. It might be October before we see him, hopefully before the next international break. However, there's always that thing in FPL or in the Premier League that managers don't want to rush a player back ahead of the international break. Then they go out and get selected for the international squad, go out, play in the break and come back in worse condition than they started. So that's an important update there. This was the news from Eddie Howe this morning that Botman has trained and he looks set to be recalled. Tonali is a doubt though for Newcastle. I've seen Vijay mentioning this in the chat, this talk on Saka having an issue. Honestly, it's not something we need to worry about. It sounds like he picked up a bit of an Achilles problem at the end of last season, but it's still being managed. He's still playing 90 minutes week in, week out. I think it's one of those just pure discussion points over the international break. Arteta probably a bit annoyed that he played so many minutes in the international break, but I don't think we need to worry about Saka's fitness. So don't let the Twitter bubble swing you there. And then press conferences yesterday from Brentford. Morpay will be in the squad against Newcastle. Damsgaard is a late fitness test. At Luton, quite a number of things, but Lockyer is back. A few longer term injuries. I know we're kind of not that invested in Luton right now. Spurs were still waiting on their press conference with some concerns on Son, but it looks like he's back in training after the break. And we believe Sancho's out for Manchester United, who've been banished from first team training, which is another one of those big issues at the club at the moment. We'll hear from Klopp later, but we didn't see Grealish or Stones in City training yesterday or Kovacic. And from Sheffield United, Baldock, Ahmed and Osler are all believed to be doubts. So there's all the updates that we've got already. And I think the Spurs press conference could be now. We'll see what news we've got coming through. Just keep my eyes peeled. And we're expecting to hear from the Bournemouth press conference as well fairly soon. So I think what I'll do is I'll keep the tweet deck open. Sorry, X-Pro, still not got used to that. But I'll also keep an eye on what's going on in the chat as well. We've not quite at 100 likes on the stream yet, so if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. I'd really love to hit 26,000 subs by the Game Week 5 deadline. Looks like a bit of a tall order at the moment, so please help me out. I'm going to hop over to the chat and start answering some questions. I want to check first of all that I've not missed any member questions. Simon is on Wildcard. Anyone else on Wildcard, let me know. And maybe put a quick poll up. Are you on Wildcard? See how many of you are, because I hope I can probably, if there's quite a few of you, I'll probably tailor a bit more content towards the wildcarders this week. I'm guessing the vast majority won't be. Looks like Madison is on comms for Spurs today, so that's going to be an interesting one for the press conference. That'll be a fun one to check out later. Neil has asked, he said, glad to have you back. Thank you, Neil. Long-time member of the channel. Rolling the transfer, only option was Rashford to Son, but try not to be knee-jerk. Yeah, I wouldn't lose Rashford. Certainly, I know I transferred him out last week, so I'm not one to talk. But the transfer in of Sterling, I'm still waiting for that one to come good. Where is Rashford? we know how good Rashford's home form was last season. And then 3 of the next 4 for United are home games. We've got Brighton, Burnley, Palace, Brentford. So I think he could go on a nice little run there. I think maybe having a double up on the United attack might be a little bit too much at the moment, but certainly holding one or the other is absolutely fine. Anish has said, can I go for Kulusevski or Solomon? I can't take Maddison or Son as I don't have the budget. I suggest you find the budget, Anish, or look elsewhere. Let me know how much you've got to spend. But I don't think Kulusevski or Solomon can cover Son and Maddison. So you must have 7. Have you got Mbomo? Diaby's a good pick as well. Simon doing a great job on the modding today. Thank you. We're at 100 likes as well, so thanks very much for that, guys. Great to have the support of you guys watching. 270 of you in at the moment. Just making sure that we're not missing anything while I go through questions. 14% of you are on a wildcard. Are those that have voted? So that's quite a few of you, really. Looks like it's the calm before the storm on the press conferences as well. So we'll wait to see. And it said 7.7 million. Yeah, I don't. If we just have a look at the predicted points over the next 4 game weeks. Son's predicted to score 25, Maddison 21.5, and then Kulusevski's third on 15. Solomon doesn't even make the top 10. So hopefully that backs that up. This is the predicted points tool on Fantasy Football Hub. It's been pretty accurate so far this season. If you are interested in being a member, you can get 30% off right now using the link in the chat or in the description to this video. You get a 7-day free trial as well, and they've still got that win your mini league or your money back offer on as well, which is just brilliant. So it's well worth checking that out. But in terms of midfielders priced up to 7, I'm guessing you've got 7.7 million over the next 4 game weeks. Top is Mbomo, second Foden, third Eze, Matoma and Diaby making up the top 5. So hopefully that's enough inspiration for you in terms of some potential transfers in. Just having a look through to check that we've not missed anything else so far. All looks pretty quiet on the tweet deck, so I'm going to go through some more questions. Let's end that poll. Question from Gazman. Still done Jackson to Morris. Wow, I wouldn't be chopping Jackson this week. If you've done it, you've done it. To solve a bench headache, still have Sterling and also Watkins next to Haaland. Yeah, I think Jackson is well worth hanging on to. The thing I like about Jackson is his underlying numbers. If we look at the Opta stats on the hub again, in terms of shots this season, he's in 4th place. In terms of big chances, he's top with Haaland. 7 big chances, an XG of 3, just 1 goal. Now, he has underperformed, and that could be an indication of poor finishing. But we also need to bear in mind Chelsea's fixtures over the next 4 game weeks. Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Fulham, Burnley. I don't think that's a bad run of games for him. The return should come for Jackson, in my opinion. What did Anish say? With 7.7 million, should I go for any Arsenal or United players instead? I don't... In terms of United players, it's Rashford, Fernandes or no one, in my opinion. In terms of Arsenal, I think having just Saka is absolutely fine. So yeah, I wouldn't make the move in either of those cases, to be completely honest. Steve in the chat with a question. I've got Johnston and Turner, same as me, who aren't guaranteed starts anymore. Got a weak bench. 1 free transfer. Should I wildcard roll or take a hit? I would just roll the transfer. Johnston and Turner could both lose their places very soon. We saw some remark from a journalist at Nottingham Forest to say that the new signing, whose name I can't pronounce, let me have a go, Odysseus, he's supposedly going to be number 1. But Turner's been very good. Kept his first clean sheet of the season against Chelsea, made a decent number of saves, been among one of their best players. So I don't, even though he's maybe not first choice, I do think that he won't be dropped until something goes wrong, okay? So I think he will start game week 5. Same with Johnston. No clean sheet yet. Dean Henderson breathing down his neck, but again, not really had a really poor performance yet. So, and apparently Johnston is number 1 at Palace for now. So until it becomes a problem, don't worry about it. Obviously, the wild card is the best point to solve goalkeeper issues. Unless you've got 2 free transfers, no other problems in your squad. But it's very unlikely that Johnston and Turner will both kind of lose their place in the same game week. So keep patient with it for now, it would be my advice. Killer Rat, Saka's fine, but Arteta's press conference is coming up. He's been playing with an injury since last April, May. It's not a major issue. Anish has said any Forest player. Awonyi, he's the one for me. I hope the AI predictions back me up on this. Yeah, Awonyi predicted to score 16.9 points over the next 4 game weeks. If you are shopping for a new forward, he's top of the list, in my opinion, at the moment. Just pop over to X Pro and see whether we've got any updates from Spurs or Bournemouth yet. And then I think, what did we have at 1:15? Wolves and potentially Brighton. There's nothing yet, though. We'll keep an eye on it. It's all open, so that'd be my advice. Gabby has said Awonyi or Alvarez. I think I'd go Alvarez out of those 2. I'm going to keep the tweet deck open because I don't want to miss anything. Marco says he's waiting for Arsenal, City and Brighton press conferences. Yeah, in terms of the news that we're kind of waiting for, we've got clarification on Botman and Trent. There's Evan Ferguson, there's Mark Gay, there's Kovacic. They're kind of the big ones, so to speak, at the moment. Vijay said get the stream to 300 likes. There's 300 of you in, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be at 300 likes. It helps me to get the stream out to more people, helps to grow the channel as well. So I really do appreciate everyone that is showing their support just by liking the stream. Dead easy. Not asking for any more than that from you guys. Killer Rat has asked, should I keep holding Watkins? Feel like it's mediocre. And another question from Anish as well on holding Watkins. Long term, I think Watkins is fine. If we look at the predicted points for forwards over the next 4 game weeks, this is getting skewed a little bit by the double game week for Luton and Burnley. Watkins is level on points with Alvarez. I think if I was on a wild card or I was buying a forward this week, I think Alvarez would be my top target, but there are other options in there. If we stretch this further afield to look at the next 8 game weeks, the top 5 is Alvarez, Watkins, Jesus, Jackson, Haaland. Haaland's like 28 points ahead of anyone else. But, yeah. So I think Watkins is fine. I wouldn't sell him if I owned him. He is a kind of like a form player, though. Have to go with his purple patches a little bit. We're getting closer to 200 likes, which is good. A few questions on whether to take a -4 to get a Son in. Kind of does depend who's making way, but I probably wouldn't really go with that. Update from De Zerbi. Evan Ferguson has resumed training. Decision this afternoon or tomorrow. It's not particularly helpful if you're a Evan Ferguson owner. Again, I think he's been quite highly purchased this week. So I think owners have got unlucky there. Yeah, 330,000 transfers in. Just got to hope for the best now. Don't make early transfers. I need to bookmark some of these. So we've got them for reference later. I'm going to keep the X Pro open then, seeing as these press conferences are going on. Killerat has asked about a move to Jesus. Depends if you own Saka, to be fair. I think I'm just not convinced I would want to be doubled up on Arsenal attack at the moment. I mean, obviously this week it's great, but then it's the North London derby. Bournemouth away, City at home, Chelsea away. It's kind of like game week 10 is when you'd really want to. Mini league code should come up in this little ticker on the bottom. I think it's queyct. But it should come up like every 30 seconds. I might have an auto join link actually, if it's handy. Yeah. Let me drop this in the chat, which is the auto join link for the mini league. It should be in the description to the video as well, which it is. Yeah, we're all sorted. Nothing else from the press conferences just yet. Another question from Anish. I own Bowen, who seems to have not great fixtures ahead. Not sure whom to bring in against him. Got Mbomo, Saka, Salah, Sterling and Bowen. So Maddison's a big miss there, I would say. Saka, Salah, Sterling, good longer term holds. Fatty is ready to play, says De Zerbi. Could feature tomorrow, maybe in the second half. De Zerbi's like the new Pep, isn't he? A few questions on whether to get Son in for Rashford. I don't think I would do it. Not with 2 home games coming up for Rashford. I don't think it's worth it. Simon is discussing Odegaard's record against Everton, which is something to keep an eye on. Killerat says, I've held my nerve with Foden, but UCL rotation means moving him to Son. That's the most attractive thing about Spurs. Good fixtures for the longer term, no Europe. Neil said, would you change any of my midfield? Bruno, Rashford, Saka and Bomo, Maddison, 1 free transfer. Yeah, I mean, if you look at general predicted points of players over the next 4 game weeks, Rashford and Fernandes are well up there. Personally, I prefer Fernandes to Rashford. AI does as well. The move from Rashford to Son is on if you've got Fernandes. I think double Spurs attack is more exciting than double United attack at the moment because they play all-out attack. Oh, great. De Zerbi has made mention of long international trips for Estepinian and Benoit. To be fair, he always does this. It's just something to note. He's not gonna rest Estepinian for United away. It's just not gonna happen. Gabby has asked about Reece James. He's out on lease for another 2-3 weeks, so you're fine if you've got Gusto. Subraman says, who's going to come in for Trent? I don't know, actually. One thing that I do also like on the hub is the predicted lineups that Ben does. Let's have a look what Joe Gomez is what Ben's tipping as in for Trent. Which I think makes sense. Wrong tab, sorry guys. Killerat has also said, is it worth going against the robot on captaincy? Let's put it to a poll. So, who is your Game Week 5 captain? I'm going to put Haaland. I'm going to put Son on Maddison. I'm going to put Salah. And then I'm going to put other. Let's have a look. Postacoglu says everyone's back. Everyone's good, no issues. So that's good. Lascelles say back in training, but not ready. But should be in for the North London derby. So that's quite good news. In terms of predicted points just for Game Week 5, Haaland's on 8.1, Son 7, Salah 6.6, and Maddison 6. Remember, the West Ham away was Haaland's first ever Premier League game last season, and he scored a brace. I think he got 13 points. I remember, because I didn't own him, it properly derailed my season last season before it had even begun. So, it's obvious for me, Captain Haaland, but others may see differently. So that's the 1:15 press conferences. We've not heard from Wolves yet though, have we? 1:30 we've got Arsenal, Brighton, Burnley, Palace, Everton, Fulham, United and West Ham. City maybe a little bit later, maybe 2 o'clock, we'll see. Obviously we've not had Pep and his delights for a few weeks now because he had that back surgery, didn't he? I've missed a few more questions from members, so let me just cover those. Anish just says, with Udogie, hopefully everyone gets assists from him. I agree, he's a great pick. Yeah, Botman is back. Anish says, can we captain Salah? You can captain whoever you like, but just know the risks of going against Haaland. You need Haaland to blank and your player to bang for it to really come off. Plenty will go with a Spurs midfielder though this week, I should imagine. Right, I'm going to leave the X Pro open because I think it's going to be pretty busy. Ben says it is Holly on the Son train. Not yet. I am not on the Son train at the moment. I'm struggling a bit because I've got Salah, so it's not very easy for me to get Son in. But I've got Maddison. I've had Maddison all season. I think Johnston will play. Let's have a look at the Palace predicted lineup from Ben. Yeah, he's got Johnston in goal. And for Forest, Turner's still in goal as well. According to Ben's predictions, that's good enough for me. Alex has asked you Doji or Cash. That's a tough one. I think I lean towards you Doji. Purely on fixtures. If we look at predicted points for defenders, I think you'll find over the longer term, it's the Newcastle defenders that are doing pretty well, and still City, and then it's the Stupin and Cash. You Doji a bit further down. In fact, Pedro Porro's ahead of him as well. I guess Spurs haven't looked that great defensively, but it's the attacking threat, isn't it, that we're all invested in. Actually, I said, now that Botman has passed fit, which defender will you bring in? Trippier, Schär or Botman? Botman's incredible value. Schär has got that little bit extra, though. I think unless you've got Salah in your team, then I think going with Schär is a viable strategy, if I'm honest. You know, Botman over the next 8 game weeks, 30.9, Schär 33.5. So there's a bit of a difference, not a huge amount. If you think you're going to want Salah and you want to be a bit more frugal with your funds, then go Botman. But if you can afford Schär, then go for it. And if you can afford Trippier, go with Trippier. It's kind of like that route to Salah, but you can probably do that on a wild card in game week 9 anyway. Ten Hag refused to refer to Jadon Sancho by name, said he inherited a no-good culture when he took over. Jesus. Just checking that we've not missed anything. So it all looks fairly quiet out there at the minute. First super chat of the day in from my H. Who would you play this week, Mbomo or Odegaard? Gosh, that is a tough one. I mean, I'm always of the feeling that you cannot bench a player that's on penalties. I find it really, really difficult to bench Mbomo this week. He's on all set pieces, including penalties. But then Odegaard has a sensational record against Everton. I don't actually know. Let's have a look on Transfer Market, because this is quite good at showing you a player's record against various teams. And Newcastle haven't been that solid defensively yet, so I do expect Brentford to score. And if Brentford are scoring, it's most likely that it's going to be Mbomo that's involved. This has been so slow today. All these ads popping up. Has that clicked for me? Come on, computer. It doesn't like the stream. Hopefully I've not gone all weird. There's nearly 450 of you in now, which is crazy. Thanks for the support, guys. Make sure as well that you're hitting the like button. Let's get it to 200 likes anyway. So, against Everton, Odegaard has 3 goals. This won't cover fantasy assists, which is not as useful. But then remember, Everton won. They beat Arsenal 1-0 last season. Sorry to any Arsenal fans in the chat for reminding you of that one. That was when things started to go a bit AWOL for Arsenal. Well, let's see what AI says as well. I'm just going to give this a refresh so that it resets all the filters. So Odegaard. This is my PC playing up again. It's getting louder and louder. What's going on? I think AI will have Odegaard over Mbomo. I'm pretty sure that Odegaard's in the top 10. Yeah, he's on 5.2 predicted points. Meanwhile, Mbomo is only on 4.5 predicted points. I think I'd still go on Mbomo, personally. Hopping back over to the press conferences because it is 1:30 now, and Martinez is available, as is Lindelof. So I'll drop that in the chat because that's quite big news. And I'll make sure I've got that bookmarked as well so that we can look back. Oh no, what's going on now? The computer's just not liking me. Comments on Sancho. We played well, we deserve more. It was not our side, it was the outcome. I don't know what's going on at United, if I'm honest. It doesn't look great. Lindelof and Martinez being fit is good for news for United, though. I know I've missed a load of questions from members, so we'll try and cover those as well. Arteta has said that Saka trained as normal today, so that's important. So if anyone was worried about Saka, as I've mentioned already, don't be. Partey's a few weeks away. Neil has said game week 5 Rashford to Son. Game week 6 Son back to Rashford if United do well, otherwise keep Son. I don't like making moves out, planning to transfer a player out and back in again. I think that's a waste of transfers, if I'm honest. Akshat, if you're not bringing in Salah until you wildcard in 9 or 10, just get Trippier. Gabby said, should I play Wissa or Ward-Prowse this week? You see, Ward-Prowse is set pieces, home game. I think I'd play him, you know. Let's have a look at predicted points again. Wissa is on 4.3. Ward-Prowse 3.9. So AI says Wissa. I think I'd say Ward-Prowse though. We're not agreeing. Oh, Killer, thank you so much. Gifted 5 memberships. If you're one of them that got one, do say thank you to Killer. I don't know if everyone's in, but it's Aaron, Dom, Ranuk, KB and Chloe. Thank you very much, Killer, for those. Need to go on the score on now. Have a great stream. Thanks, Killer. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Really appreciate all the support. Channel memberships are live, guys. They'll give you priority responses to comments both on videos and in the stream. So great value. Also, if you join at the premium pick, you'll also get access to a private channel on my Discord where we can talk about rate my teams and things like that. So, you know, if you are interested in supporting me and the channel a little bit more, the memberships is the best way of doing so. And hopefully what I'm providing for you guys is great value for money. I hope it is. But I really do appreciate that from Killer as well. Iwobi is out of the squad. Lucic is out. Kearney is a doubt. That's from the Fulham press conference. Aaron said thank you, Anronic. Thanks, Killer, for those. Comments from Postecoglou on Richarlison. Whatever Richie needs, we will help him to get to the space where he can get to do that. This is from Richarlison made some quite powerful comments in the break about, you know, how he was feeling mentally. I think he struggled with, you know, his kind of goal drought, which is a shame. Sorry, I'm just making sure I've not missed any other member questions. David says, I love Odegaard. Anish, would playing in Archer be a good option? Don't think so. Spurs defence is done pretty well. There's lots still coming in on the press conference. Keep your questions coming as well. I've kind of, I will admit I have lost track of where I'd got up to with questions. I will try and scroll back up to the top and see. The chat's just going too fast for me, guys. What can I say? An update on Anthony as well. Don't know if I missed this. Anthony will delay his return to the club until further notice to address allegations against the player. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. It's just a shambles at United at the moment, I've got to say. Rabin has said Alvarez captain this week. That would be a bold decision. You're braver than me. Chester says, keep Rashford or sell for Foden. It depends if you've got Fernandez as well, because I wouldn't double up. I'm not sure. Just with everything that's going on at United, I don't think it's essential to have a United player in. Looks like the City press conferences will be at 2 o'clock, so I'm definitely going to hang around for that one. Also, if we get any comments, we should be expecting a few comments, to be fair, from Villa and Nottingham Forest around 2:30 as well. So if you guys stick around, if you're still here watching, then I'll definitely go on for a bit longer on the stream today to get those covered. Anish says, do we have any good Newcastle mids to look in for the coming weeks? It's really difficult to invest in the Newcastle attack because there's so much competition for places. We've got, Isaac hasn't been on the greatest form so far this season. Wilson looked very strong from the bench, so I could easily see a situation happening where Isaac's dropped for Wilson. Almiron's had a few niggles, but he's kind of got a little bit more involvement on that right side. But on the left side, Gordon v Barnes, they're going to share minutes, and going into a tough European run, it's very difficult to predict where the minutes are going to be, which means it's really hard to invest in the Newcastle attack. But I think it's fine to back the defence with Trippier and Schär. Both have decent attacking threat, so that will help. Just making sure that we've not missed anything. It's looking all right at the moment. Simon is off. Thank you for modding. Back to work, unlucky. And a question from another member, Ronak. Salah or Son captain this game week? I just feel both of them have a higher ceiling. Yeah, I mean, in terms of options, I think Son could be on pens. The thing that puts me off Son is we don't know his exact positioning. The thing that puts me off Salah a little bit is we don't know whether he is on pens either. I think Haaland's just got that consistency a little bit more. Liverpool lost against Wolves at Wolves last season. I think Son in general has a pretty good record against Sheffield United. We'll have a look. While I'm doing this, just make sure you've hit the like button, subscribe. There's nearly 500 of you in, so we should be at least 250 likes. Do you want me to carry on till 2:30 for Villa and Forest press conferences? Make sure that you're liking. Let's filter this by... Where is Premier League? Am I being blind? There we go. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. There we go. I mean, I'm going to have to go down a little bit probably when we get there. This is what not wanting to load for me. There we go. So 2 goals, 3 assists in 5 games for Son against Sheffield United. Scored in every home game against them. He's going to get points, isn't he? I don't mind Son captain. I think it's just I've personally not been considering it because I've not got Son in my team. Nothing else coming up at the moment. So I'll keep answering questions. I'll prioritise the member questions. Gary has asked, would you do any of Saka, Rashford, Foden or Matoma to Maddison this week? Yeah, I think Matoma to Maddison's fine. Daniel says Salah for the win. We've got to 250 likes, which is brilliant. Thank you, guys. Keep them coming. Calvert-Lewin back for Everton by the looks of things, but Harrison is not available yet. Dom has said, I've got a choice between Schär and Botman. I'm leaning towards Schär at the moment, but do you think Botman's going to start? Is he the better pick? Now, Schär's the better pick. It's the goal threat. Don't think we've seen it as much so far this season. Botman's had a few issues though. Botman got 2 assists last season. Schär got 1 goal and 3 assists. I think one game he could have got like a brace. So yeah, Schär for me is the better asset. Botman at 4.5. We talked about him a lot in pre-season. He looked to be the best 4.5 million option. But unless you've got Haaland and Salah, budget is not an issue this season. So it's not significant. Nothing else at the moment. Not heard from City yet. That's at 2 o'clock. Let's just see how we're going with these. I've not seen any comments from Wolves, although I doubt there's anything too pressing. We've heard from De Zerbi. Not seen any comments from Company yet or from Hodgson. We've heard from Marco Silva. Not heard from David Moyes yet, West Ham. Paulina is back for Fulham. I don't know what happened on deadline day. I've actually forgot how crazy that one was. We was doing the Game Week 4 deadline stream, and it was like proper busy with the transfer window as well because it was deadline day. Absolute carnage. Rannick has said it's a Stupinan to share a good shout. I wouldn't lose a Stupinan. It's the most attacking defender we've seen so far this season. If we have a look at the Opta stats over the opening 4 game weeks, filter this by defenders. This is available for Hub members using the link that's pinned in the chat. You can get a 30-day free trial at the moment with Fantasy Football Hub, so it'll give you a great opportunity to try it out. In terms of expected goal involvement over the first 4 game weeks, Stupinan 2.5 in first, Cash 2.1, Chilwell third and 1.8. They are head and shoulders above the rest. Udogie is down in 6th on 1.1. Like, Stupinan, the most attacking defender in the game right now. Yeah, do not drop him. I feel like you can go without Brighton attackers because of the European rotation and the fixtures. I feel like a Stupinan can cover them. See if we've got anything else. Not refreshed this for 3 minutes. Because I'm following so many journalists on this X-Pro, you do tend to see the same information kind of duplicated multiple times from different sources, but it does serve its purpose in making sure that we don't miss anything important. Question on Foden or Mbomo. I I'd start on Bomo because he's on pens. I find it really difficult in FPL to bench a player that's on penalties. A super thanks from VJ. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It feels wrong that you're helping me out by modding and contributing as well. Willie has said, must I sell Gabriel? Don't think so. I mean, I don't think Arteta's mentioned anything about Gabriel's fitness. I think he was expected to be fine. I was a little bit concerned because he was icing his leg during international duty, got subbed early. But yeah, no mention from Arteta that he's not available. I think now the transfer window's shut and he's still an Arsenal player. I think he's kind of safe. I think he'll get a run of starts now. David Moyes is in, so we should start getting some comments from him as well, which will be good to see. Can we get up to 300 likes? Ronak says, thank you for all the suggestions, Holly. You're wonderful. Thank you very much. Comments like that make it all worthwhile. So appreciate it that you're enjoying the content. Anish just said, is Trossard a good pick? No, he's not getting enough minutes. He's not started a game yet, has he? He's got 2 points so far. Didn't even come on against United. I think that says everything. I'm afraid he's not an FPL option at the moment, which is a shame because he's a great player. Hodge is the only absentee for Wolves. Some internationals only returned to training today, but no injury issues. That's from the Wolves press conference. That was one that I said we were still looking out for today. Marco says Pedro's on penalties. Yeah, it doesn't count. If you're not nailed on to start, it doesn't count. They're very different to Mbomo, who's a 90-minute man. Bit quiet now in terms of different things. And Jordan Rose says, will end Alvarez play? I don't see why not. Fact says, Awoni over Alvarez, you won't regret. Interesting. Great fixture this weekend. Vito says Fernandes or Foden. I'd go with Fernandes. Put in a phenomenal performance for Portugal over the break as well, by the way. Pablo has asked for a review. So let's do it. Let's give this a refresh. Hopefully I've bookmarked all the big ones. Wolves are all fine. Paulina's back for Fulham. Iwobi will be involved as well. Calvert-Lewin's back for Everton, but Harrison is out. Partey is out for Arsenal. Saka is fine. Lindelof and Martinez are both back for Manchester United. Ferguson is a late call. Konate back for Liverpool, but Núñez is out. They're the main ones. Reece James not back for Chelsea until October, which is good news for Gusto owners. Trent will miss the Wolves game. Botman back for Newcastle. You can get rid of that one now. Morpay is available for Brentford. Damsgaard out. Sancho's out for United, obviously. And Anthony. Still waiting to hear from Pep, though, on Grealish, Stones, Kovacic. I bet he'll say something like, oh, the players will train soon and then I'll make a decision. Knowing Pep, we will see. Seems to be his tagline. What was the news on Darwin? Let me have a read of it again. So the news on Darwin Núñez, did I say he was out? I don't think I meant to say that. He hasn't been in training yet because of his travel over the break. He's said to be fatigued, but it should be fine. I couldn't say whether he starts or not. It would be in the squad. Yeah, some people waiting on news of his Stones back. Well done for holding in this long. We're getting there, aren't we? Should be time for... so we've got Pep at 2 o'clock, and then at 2:30 we've got Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. Saka's fine. Anish has asked how good is Szoboszlai. He's not got that much goal threat. That's the thing that puts me off him. Assist threat's there. Dominating set pieces. Always playing 90, which is good to know. Few updates from Crystal Palace. Gay will miss the game with an injury for England. Lerma's got a hamstring problem. Tompkins is missing from injury. I think all that says bench Johnston and play your backup goalkeeper. VJ says, please continue liking. It really helps Holly's algorithms. Thank you, VJ. You're doing the work for me there. I appreciate it. We're nearly at 300 likes, which is amazing. Don't think we're going to hit 27k by the deadline, which is a shame, but I'm sure I'll get over it. The grind is real now on the subs. We've got through fun season. Rolliker says, if I had to choose between Jackson and Højlund, who would you go for? Jackson. Because I know he's going to play 90 minutes every game. Gary says, did I miss Spurs team news? There wasn't really any. The Celso back soon. Everyone else is fine. Norwich City fan club said, is Saka injured? No, he's absolutely fine. Paul said, Morris off the bench from me this week. Oh, interesting. Danny says, should I bench Henry for Botman? I would do. Any Alvarez news? No. We've not heard from Pep yet, but I don't believe he's got an issue. Yeah, Marco says, is it first game, so should we know about Darwin? We will. I will be live, by the way, for the deadline stream tomorrow. Let me just get the link. The link, I believe the link is in the description for this video. But again, if you want to join me live tomorrow for the deadline stream, I've put the link in the chat as well. You can, if you open that link, that'll bring up the deadline stream, and then if you hit the notify button, it'll tell you when I go live. It'll definitely be by 10 AM. I take my daughter to football on Saturday morning, so we tend to get home at 9:30. So it could be as early as 9:45. We'll just see how long it takes to get everything set up. But yeah, I'll be across any early team news for that as well. Including on Darwin Núñez, who's going to be quite a big one. I think I've already prepped the thumbnail with Darwin Núñez in it. Hang on, I've not got the link right now. So this will bring up the deadline stream, and then you see that little box where it says notify me? It'll basically send you a notification. If you hit the like button as well on that one, that'll help me out as well. We're waiting for news from Pep then. While we're waiting, I'll answer some more questions as well. Lage says, here to sell for Son, Fernandes, Saka, Foden and Bomo or Sterling. Foden. Rupam says, Morris or Gordon. I'd go with Morris. Andrew says, sell Jackson for Jesus. I wouldn't drop Jackson this week. Anthony says, start Botman or Estupinian. I don't want to bench Estupinian. Willie says, is Eze a keep? All these injuries for Palace, I don't think it helps him. I know his underlying numbers are still very good. Let's just give this a reset. So he's had 19 shots on goal. I think he's like second for shots behind Haaland. Yeah, he is. Along with Edouard. Only one big chance though. Only 5 of them on target. So it's not been that clinical. 13 key passes as well. But only one big chance created. There could be time for Eze to go. Right, here we go. Pep is in the building. Let's see what he's got for us. We're looking for news on Grealish, Stones, Kovacic, among others. Marco says sell Saka on Martinelli. Question on best alternative for João Pedro. I think if he's not got funds, then Morris, but I like Alvarez. Andre says, I'm thinking about Maddison captain. Is it too risky? I'm personally not doing it. I think it's a bigger question if it's Son. Interestingly, I put this to a poll. 65% said captain Haaland. 24% were looking at Son and Maddison. Salah 7%. Other was 2%. May have some team leaks, or which feels early, or at least a rumour. Let me have a look what this says. See what Pep's got to say as well. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, guys, in the meantime. We're at 300 likes, which is amazing, so thank you. My computer's on a proper go slow now, which does not help. Here we go. Pep says he's getting better. We don't want to hear about your fitness now, Pep. We'll see what Pep's got to say then about these various little issues. Keep an eye on it all. Comments back on Kyle Walker staying as well. Hopefully you can't hear my computer chugging away in the background. Souček back for West Ham as well. Will help. Moyes definitely needs a fully fit squad. Ronak says, can't wait for Pep to pep us with some good news. You know what Pep's like. Have low expectations. Yeah, we did need to know that Pep was fit. I'm just more keen to get the lowdown for FPL. Just comments on Kyle Walker at the moment, which isn't particularly useful for what we need. While we're waiting for Pep to do his thing. Got a super chat in from Greg, thank you. Should I transfer Trent for Trippier? Yes, one of the easiest transfer suggestions I've seen all day. Get it done, Greg. FPL Harry says, what's this early team news then, Holly? It was a false alarm. I had a notification on my watch which looked like it would be something interesting, but it wasn't. And thank you for joining though, Harry. Akshat says, as of now, Grealish, Stones and Kovacic are injured and the rest of the squad are good. Have I missed that one? You're ahead of me, Akshat. How have you done it? Who have you got the information from? Because I need to add them to X-Pro. KM says, if I were to take a free hit for Salah, who else should I get? Do not free hit. It's not a good enough game week fixtures-wise to play the free hit. There's lots of excitement in the chat that Harry has joined us in the chat. We've got a proper FPL content creator. He's paving the way. Zane says, should I bring Ferguson in? It looks like he's a late fitness call, so I wouldn't do it. Ronex says, I think that was the last word in from Pep. All I'm seeing is Kyle Walker at the moment. Oh, here we go. Finally. Where are you getting your info from, though, Akshat? Let me know, because you was ahead of all the journalists there. Are you in the press conference? I guess you could be watching it on the telly. Yeah, so this is quite big, really. Grealish, Kovacic and Stones are out for the West Ham game. Kovacic has a minor muscular issue. That won't help for Rodri owners, because Rodri is allowed... Kovacic has allowed Rodri to roam a bit further forward. I don't think any of that news is particularly a surprise, but obviously it's not the best news. It does weaken City a little bit. Dread FPL has joined us as well. Says, hi Holly, I'm well behind. Only just seen that you do this press stream. We're here every Friday at 1 PM. So make sure you're joining me for the next one. Good to see you, Dread. Appreciate the support. The best dreadlocks in the FPL community. Really nice guy as well. We've got a super chat in from KM saying, if Ferguson is injured, do I keep João Pedro? I mean, I probably wouldn't. Depends how you're doing for funds, because obviously you can, if you can upgrade João Pedro to a Aouni, an Alvarez, then that would be preferential. If you've got exact funds, you could go to Morris now. He is a credible option. João Pedro is so out of favour with De Zerbi, and I can't see it coming good anytime soon. So, yeah, for that reason, I would just get rid. Still think he's a sell. Pep being a bit coy on how long Kovacic could be out for. We'll be about for the team leaks tomorrow. We do need to see if Nunes starts, for a start. Have we got any Nunes owners? Let me know in the chat if you are one. Anish says, does that mean Foden will get more minutes? Yeah, to be fair, it's quite good news for Foden. You'd imagine he's pretty... I don't know. I'd like to say he was nailed on to play on the left. I always get my left and right confused. But Doku started the last game, didn't he? I don't think anything is particularly good news for Foden, let's be honest. This is Pep that we're dealing with here. A few Jota owners. Not that many Nunes owners at the moment. Right, so we've got two more press conferences coming up at 2:30. So I'm going to put it to a poll. Should I stay for the 2:30 press conferences? And in the meantime, I can answer some more of your questions. If you do want me to stay, let's put it to a vote. Stones and Grealish not likely to be back for the European games against Red Star next week either. Let's have a look at the... So we've got Champions League fixtures starting on Tuesday. So Newcastle travel to AC Milan on Tuesday. City play Red Star at home on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we've got United away at Bayern and Arsenal at home to PSV. And then if we look at the Europa League fixtures, I think these are all on Thursday now. Liverpool play LASK on Thursday in the early kickoff at 5:45. Brighton then play Athens at 8 o'clock on Thursday. West Ham play Topola. Never heard of them before. And then in the Europa Conference League, Aston Villa have qualified for this game and they play Warsaw on Thursday as well. 91% have said yes. That's it then. I'm going to have to stay. I think we can maybe move away from the tweet deck and focus on some questions, though, in this next section of the video. While we're on the topic, it does help in your support of the channel if you find the tools that I'm using on the video useful. 30% off Fantasy Football Hub at the moment. The key thing, though, is you get a 7-day free trial with that. So I'm going to be answering your questions now in the chat using the tools on Fantasy Football Hub. And obviously, if you are finding them useful, then do consider signing up with that 30% offer using the link that is, I'll pin it. Pinned, it's in the comments, it's in the chat. That's my affiliate link. So we'll see what questions we've got. Don Dewsbury says, I have a second Liverpool attacker when the fixture swing starts. Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. So if we look at the fixture ticker, it's this period from game week 9 to 12 where Liverpool jump up to second, on the ticker. LV Proxy says start Vardiol or Estepinian. We'll have a look at what the predicted points say for this. Vardiol is on 2.5 predicted points. And Estepinian is on 3.3 predicted points. And I think I concur with that. Gasman says, stay, you're getting me through work. I'm not going anywhere. I don't think Estepinian is a risk. I think De Zerbi just likes to moan. Hey, having a nice day, says currently last place in the league. Should I gamble on Salah captain? There's the predicted points. I think Haaland's the better pick. I do think that, you know, in terms of mini league terms, we're only 4/38 of the way through the season. There's a long way to go. So don't be making, you know, bold moves this week to try and capitalise. Just be a bit more patient. Ronica says, are you going to do a Champions League fantasy team? Don't think I'm going to bother this season. Zane said, should I start Nunez or should I just start Jackson? I mean, stick around for the deadline stream tomorrow to see whether Darwin starts. But I do still like Jackson. Arunda says, does Alvarez start then? I'd say so. There's a few City accounts that do leak early news and have, you know, predicted lineups and things like that. So I would keep an eye on that as well for the purpose of that one. So remember, all of the tools that I'm showing you are available on the hub. I'm just going to resize this so I can... Can I pop it over there? Am I going to cover myself up? Oh, that's a nightmare. I'm going to have to put it back over here, look. That'll do. I'll pop it there. But yeah, 30% off right now in the 7-day free trial, so you can try all of it out for yourself. Hi for you says, what to do with Matoma? Over the next 4 game weeks, if we look at midfielders priced up to, let's say 8 million, because money isn't an issue and it should encompass quite a few comparable picks. Matoma is ranked 6th behind Eze, Foden and Bomo, Martinelli and Maddison. So I think it's fine to sell Matoma, particularly if you're going up to him and Bomo and Maddison. I think I've completely lost my place in the chat now. Berry says, when are you wildcarding? Don't know yet, because most people are looking at wildcarding in Game Week 9 to get Salah in, but I've got him already. I think there'll be a point where I feel like my team's far enough behind that I need to play the wildcard. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy with how it is. I'm just going to pop over to the tweet deck to check I've not missed anything. Yeah, I think we're okay. Let's have a look at... There's some comments on Nunes, who's obviously going to be available as well for City this week. That was, some of it is embargoed. Now, this is quite useful actually, because the deadline's not until Saturday this week, these embargoed quotes, we tend to get like a flurry of extra news at about 10:30 in the evening UK time, with extra quotes from press conferences. And sometimes there's a few nuggets of information in there as well. Right, let's do some more questions. Sunep says, should I go with Edison or Turner? Let's have a look, predicted points. This will be for Game Week 5. Get the right filters on. So Edison's second with 4.3 predicted points. Turner is that 7th on 3.9. 8th, sorry. So yeah, Edison. Fadzai says, I want Son in my team, so who should I transfer out for him, Rashford or Saka? I think you can get away with doing Rashford, particularly if you've got Fernandes as well. Anradar says, should I sell Watkins? No, I'd hold him. If we just look at Villa players in general, because there's a lot of love around for Diaby right now, but in terms of Aston Villa assets, AI is kind of pitting them equally right now. Miho says Turner or Onana. Probably Onana for that one. I don't know, actually. Maybe Turner. Change my mind. AI says Turner. Onana doesn't make the top 10. AI is not loving Onana. Let's be honest. Fahim said, should I start Gabriel? Yeah, I think for this one, you're not going to get an accurate idea from AI. But just on the clean sheet probabilities. I mean, Everton should attack at home. But Arsenal, 42% chance of a clean sheet in Game Week 5. Third of all teams away at Everton. Another shout out for FPL Harry in the comments for that one, if you're still with us, Harry. Just a quick roundup then of what we've got so far. At City, I didn't bookmark that, did I? Oh, Ben will have it for us. I thought I got them all, but obviously not. So Kovacic is out for tomorrow for Man City, as is Grealish and Stones. Few injuries at Palace, Gay, Lerma, Tompkins. Everyone but Hodge is fine at Wolves. Paulina's back for Fulham, as is Alex Iwobi. Calvert-Lewin back for Everton. Harrison needs more time. Partey is still out for Arsenal. Saka's absolutely fine. Lindelof and Martinez back for United. Ferguson, a late fitness test for him. Konate back for Liverpool. Nunes should be okay. Levia for Chelsea is a doubt. Ambrosio and Badiashile won't make it. Enzo is back. Caicedo a doubt. Only because he was back late. Reece James out for Chelsea until October. Trent out for Liverpool. Botman back for Newcastle. Tonali a doubt. That's everything from today. Just a few things. If you're still here, make sure you're hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. David says, should I start Eduardo or Mbomo? Dan G says, I'm looking cute, am I? Had to actually change my top before this because the green screen was making it go crazy. Questions on Watkins, I'd hold on to him. Naldo says I need a goalkeeper for long term. I still like spending a bit more money on a keeper. We'll look, I can only do 8 game weeks on the predicted points for goalkeepers, but Edison, Martinez, Pope, the top 3. Kaminsky and Trafford infiltrating the cheaper picks ahead of Leno. The experts seem to like Leno. There's some sort of like lawnmower started up outside. Can you hear that on the mic? You can, can't you? Sorry about that, guys. I would start Gabriel if I had him. Udogie or Trippier? Now, that's a tough one. I think Udogie just... Why are people cutting their grass on a Friday afternoon? Hopefully it's not too distracting. Let me know in the chat if it's bad. It's putting me off. You can't hear it. That's good. So 2:30 was expecting to hear from Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. I don't think there's particularly any players flagged from either side. No significant ones anyway. Elanga. I think that's probably the most significant one. 2:30 though, so we've still got 10 minutes. So I can do some more questions. By the way, in terms of the tools on the hub, you can get your AI recommended transfers. And it's really great to get an idea and some advice of what an AI thinks you should do in terms of your team. Really like looking at this each week just as more of a sense check than anything else. Basically what you have to do is you have to go in and kind of import your team, and then it will let you know your team rating and it will give you your AI recommended transfers as well. If I pop the link in the chat to that as well. So it gives you your team rating from week to week, which is really useful. My team currently at a 95% rating, I think. Only 90% for this week. Improves to 95% next week. I'll have 2 free transfers next week as well. Maybe I can fix the goalkeeper issue at that point if everything else is looking fine. Game week 7, obviously the double game week. At the moment, all I've got is Kabore, who looks like he may have lost his place. So that's why the game week rating's down then. Game week 8, 91%. Game week 9, 92%. So it's still looking pretty good for the long term. Obviously going to have a few more transfers in that time as well. Anything on the press conferences? Doesn't look like it at the moment. Ben says Alvarez or Mbomo. Is that to start this week? I really don't like benching Mbomo. Uproar says Rashford or Bruno to Son. I would go Rashford to Son. Dan says, I've got Guardiola on my bench. Should I play him over Chilwell, Udogie or a Stupinan? No, I don't think so. Cyan says whether to start Mbomo or Matoma. This has been an interesting one, actually. Gonna have to scroll down. Wow. They're both on 4.5 predicted points. Mbomo on pens, though. Again, and set pieces. I think I'd go Mbomo again. One thing that you can look at is on the Opta stats. You can see where, kind of what zones various teams are weakest in. So say for Newcastle, so this is Mbomo's opponent this week, they concede 59% of their chances centrally, 32% on the right. So I don't think that's bad for Mbomo. And then Matoma plays United. United concede a lot centrally, not a disproportionate amount on their left. Richard is about to do his transfers. Maddison for Foden. Yeah, I think that's fine. Mansour says Van Dijk or Saliba. Van Dijk's out. He's suspended. Isn't he? I'm pretty sure he got like an extended ban. When is he out till? 24th. So that's... so he's back for game week 6. VJ says let's get the likes up. We're doing all right today. Be nice to get to 400. It's honestly, it's a miracle if you guys can't hear this lawnmower. Surely you can hear that. Or is it a leaf blower? I honestly do not know what's going on out the window. You must be able to hear that. Sorry if that's really annoying. Just keep telling me in the chat that you don't hear it. It'll make me feel better. Anish has said Bowen or Gibbs White or Rodrigo. Wait, I don't love any of those options. Do you own Mbomo? I'm not loving any of them, if I'm honest. Dan says shout at them. Can hear it now, but it's quiet. That's all right. Amar must be hungry because he's gone on to food questions and said pizza or fish and chips. Got to be fish and chip Friday, hasn't it? TPS player is in. He says, hello, sorry I'm late. No worries, better late than never. We're waiting for the Forest and Villa press conferences that's coming up in the next couple of minutes. That is the plan at the moment. It's been a busy stream so far. Lots going on. Arunda says, is Gusto a better option now? Feels a bit short term, but I think it's fine because I don't think we want to be tripled on Chelsea. So it doesn't matter when James comes back, you can just bench him and, you know, James will get injured again at some point. Pro Cricket Analysis says, will Botman start? It looks likely. It does. Ashley said the mower sound helps him hold on to the last bit of summer. It's not too bad a day here in sunny Grimsby. Not bad at all. David says your Friday streams are the best. Well, thank you. Hopefully you can all join me for the deadline stream tomorrow as well. Definitely by 10 AM I'll be here for the last hour and I'll make sure that we've got news on Darwin Núñez. Again, shall I drop it in the chat? I think it's in the description as well. TPS player saying Maddison is great, Son is great, Haaland is great. Do you own all of them? Have you got Son, Maddison and Haaland? Dan says, here's my pickle. Play Diaz or Isaac. Got to be Isaac, hasn't it? May says Sanchez or Turner to start. Turner. Anish says he's tripling on Aston Villa so early. Good. I'm not convinced. I don't think it helps with the European involvement. I can't see them being that prolific. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, guys. Twitter analytics keeps telling me that like only 70% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed to the channel. Tom says, when do we start thinking about Højlund? I think we need to see him start first. VGA saying Liverpool's new player, question mark. Have I missed something? Aaron says, first time watching you, great. Looking forward to your deadline stream. Oh, thank you, Aaron. It's nice to have some newbies. Let me know in the chat any other newbies. Saka's fine. Enhat says, Odegaard or Fernandes. I would say Fernandes. Frostbolter says Trent is out for tomorrow. He was still waiting for... Oh, here we go. Unai Emery joined the media this afternoon to preview the visit of Palace on Saturday. Updates to follow. This is exactly what we need. Ramsey is close to first team return. Moreno is available after 4 months. How do Dean owners feel about that? Hang on, let me get this bookmark to the right place. Can't mess it up now. Still wanting to hear from Forrest as well and Alanga. TPS play says Maddison, Son or Haaland for captain. I'm on Haaland, but I don't have Son. If I have Son, that would be a bigger thing. David says Grimsby's a mighty fine place. Am I not the only Grimbarian here? Ashab is another newbie from Bangladesh. Love your videos. Thank you. Quite a comprehensive roundup from Villa. I want to actually check that this Forest press conference is happening. Mike has asked on Reece James. He's not back. Not going to be back for another month. What was he looking for? Nottingham Forest. Does it help if I put Fire rather than Forest? Just want to check that their press conference is definitely happening at 2:30, as it said. Because you never know. Just a lot of pop-ups. Should be 2:30, but I'm not seeing anything yet. Anish says, with Bowen in, it looks like I have 2 other options. Hold Bowen, replace him with Foden or Rodrigo or Gibbs-White. I'd just hold Bowen. And Bomo, Saka, Salah, Sterling is a nice midfield. I'd try and find a route to Maddison now. TPS set play says we need to get 400 subs. Yeah, we actually need to get 332, but that's quite a lot. But if you aren't subscribed and you're watching, please do. I'm just trying to figure out when the Forest press conference is likely to happen. can't see any sign whatsoever. Right, I think we'll probably leave it there then, seeing as there's no sign. But hopefully, let me just skip back to the normal screen. Hopefully you found it useful. If any of the tools that I've used in this video have looked useful to you, check out Fantasy Football Hub. You can get a 7-day free trial. Should cover you well for the Game Week 5 and Game Week 6 deadlines, pretty much. And then it's 30% off as well. Fantastic value, fantastic. It's all to help you win your mini league as well. If you don't win your mini league, then they'll give you your money back if you've used all their tools over the course of the season. So it is well worth checking out. So the link for that is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description. Using my affiliate link helps bring in a little bit of revenue for the channel as well. If you've enjoyed it, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Really appreciate all the support. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 AM UK time for an hour with the deadline stream as well. Link for that's in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're watching back, I will try and get back to all of your questions as well, if you've got anything pressing in there as well. Thank you so much. See you all soon.